go for another 4th of July on the road. And we gotta go for the XYZ. For the left or right on the upset. For the 4th of July. Here we gotta go for that. Freedom lies. Got it, Asperger's, gotta talk with those senior citizens. And just had a chat with a senior citizen. 4th of July special, please do not pollute. We enter XYZ. We enter XYZ on the others. 4th of July, 4th of July, 4th of July. As we go on those 4th of July was in the USA, born twice. Previous incarnations, previous pastimes. Twice in the US of A. Was born in the USA, served twice in the United States Army, and one time was born as a woman. So we're gonna let that man out. And we're gonna go on the XYZ and we're gonna get on the field. Please do not pollute. Overtime every time, 3rd day in a row. Just met a senior citizen who was very nice and was very welcoming and was very talkative and was very on the X and was very on the wide. Had a great conversation and we're gonna kick it in through the wire. And for the 4th of July, rent's paid, electricity bill's paid. Got food and got coffee at 6. 606. 605, they get a minute. Rock and roll for the farmers, firefighters, LOV. Somebody give them some of that good loving. For the firefighters. For the butchers, for the bakers, for the truckers, for the nurses. Senior citizens, rock and roll Aspie. My senior citizen knew what Asperger's was, and she said, oh yeah, I know what it is. And I said, you get too close to people? I said, yes. You're obsessed about certain interests? I says, yes. Geopolitics, sports, fitness, my kingdom, my domain, and rock and roll with it. So that is what it is. And here we go on the mountain we're again, and we're gonna get it on the X, on the Y, and the Z, and gonna go all the way up on the X and on the Y. We go all the way to the top TOP. We gotta get it for that, ready for that. 4th of July. I was born in a past life. This Quebec Canadian in the USA, that's right. When I served in the US Army, the 606, you see. And it took me 1 hour, 55 minutes, almost 156, 156, 156. Let it be crushed, 333, let it be crushed, 333. And my feet said, so to crush 333 on my feet, on the mountain. 156, 1 hour, 56 minutes and about 15, 16 something kilometers. And we gotta go for that LOV overtime every time. Rainbow dragon, not perfect, far from it. And I'm hearing some of that birds chirping. And we hear some of that birds chirping. Chirping on the mountain. And we gotta get that love. LOV. To the farmers, to the sea. For the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, that's your D. For the B and for the C's. For the left and for the right. For the spite and for the lovers. For those fathers. Always thinking about meditation, about what's happening with the truckers. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctor. And those grocery store clerks. How about those making some sandwiches and delivery of the food with it? Farmers, food security starts with them. 4th of July, my message to my brothers and sisters not far down south where I roam. 3 times in the past life, twice born as a man, once as a woman. You get that 50-50. Androgynous Aspie, artist, athlete, with retrograde amnesia. Who survived COVID 2020, February, March? Who was depressed and suicidal 7 years ago, got out of depression, went across Canada? Messages with consent, hug like you never hugged before. And got a few trillions, yeah, I said trillions. I got kissed trillionaires, blah, 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 about love. I don't want nothing about it. LOV gonna play that defense like I'm defending. Party. And I'm Brady up in that Super Bowl. On we go, on the road, on the up, and on the down. We gonna mountain, on the mountain like a clown. Sometimes got a little bit of that comedy 24/7. And look at that beautiful rock. Rock in French is Russia. Russia, that's a rock. That's a rock. And I want to pay some of these benches. And that's it, that's all, you know. Rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and watching on the main road, that is for that squirrel. So all the benches here, bring me the tools and the permission, and gonna do some painting. Gonna paint all that benches some color. Some purple, some green, maybe some of this orange. Gotta get it for the XYZ, and gotta get it for the left, and you know, we don't stay here on the main road, we're gonna go interject in the forest. We're gonna get interject in the forest. Fellow cousins here going on the jog. Good for you, keep on jogging. We're gonna go inside, and I always like when I see people jogging, and most people stay on the main, you know. On the main road, I like to go deep. This is my second home, and I like to drive it in and staying on the right, staying on the left, and getting in for that drive and getting in for that left, you know. So that's how it is for XYZ, and I'm gonna watch it not to slip, because it's a little bit on that wet. We had a little bit of rain, but that means the mushrooms are gonna come. So we rock and roll for rock and roll over time, every time. In the layer of the dragon with the DRT, that refusion theory, the CIT, citizen integration theory. We're gonna get it for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors. Hey, firefighters, LOV across North America. North Americans unite is the CALL, and we're gonna go get straight that hydration. You get that 2 in 1. Dragon Zero, General Dragon Zero, aka Clit Dick Lid, got a tiny rocket. Got some scars on my androgyny. Now you know, no need to spy on me, Russia. China got that centrism, the dream. Blah, public-private partnership. The call to all to support the dream, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, which I'm laying the foundations. From HAWK, Hawk Island, Montreal, with trillions of kisses. From HAWK, from the Hawk Island, Montreal, with trillions of kisses, laying the foundations for the first kingdom. North American Democratic Republic, the Democratic Republic of North Americans unite, with kisses, KISS, kisses by the trillions. Kisses and push-ups and rock and roll with it, those on the trucks. Give them a discount, strippers to the truckers. Please support this independent ASPE. Artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical analyst and theorist, and geopolitics is my kingdom, my domain, you know. Got an Asperger, retrograde amnesia, survived COVID, and gotta get on that survive COVID, you know. 2020 February, March was like death, pestilence, and disease for me. So I don't survive it, and here I'm grateful, thankful. Rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and we gotta get it on that drill, you know. So always meditating when I got out of depression. When I crossed Canada coast to coast, in about 7 years ago, it's gonna be in August, September, gonna be 7 years since I got out of depression. I got out of depression being suicidal, you know. So crossing Canada made me realize, when I was at Banff, I was like, wow, heavens, so many things to see, to do here across Canada, coast to coast. The King is Absent edition. Special July 4th. July 4th, LOV to my brothers and sisters from the United States. Come with us, learn a little bit of French. Come a little bit of tourism. We got plantation zones, and here in the midst of the metropolis, it's top 10 metropolis, and of course top 10 metropolis in the city. Is the top 10. Our city, Hawk Island, HAWK, is the second biggest in Canada. And of course it is the eighth in the North American collective. And we gotta get that XYZ. People are working out, training, exercising, and when people hug, kiss, give me a little bit of HOP, you know, that's what it's worth fighting for. Somebody kissing, hugging, giving some charity. 612 already, something trying to get in my right eye, and we gotta get it for the X, for the Z, for the Y, for the X, and we gotta get that DRT. You know, my cousin there jogging on the XYZ, and jogging on the left, jogging on the right, and we gotta get it for the XYZ, and so many are working out, training, and exercising, and it's super in the XYZ, you know. What's the difference between me and you? And we gotta go get it and workout, train, exercise, and go working out, go, and give you a good massages. And if you don't want massages, you don't want XYZ, and gotta get it on the XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Super important to get that exercise, and gotta get it for that DRT and get it for the solutions we gotta focus on. So I'm always happy when I see people working out, training, exercising there. I'm gonna go it on the drill and go, get that sweat. Sweat. Getting on the sweat, go. Channel that aggression, you know. Gotta go, channel that aggression and let me XYZ and get it on that children running. And I always gotta watch for them because we got puddles here, so we gotta be watching on the streets when we cross on the puddle, not to go on the puddle here to get out of the way of the children. I prioritize their joy, so I'm just gonna circumvent, not to be too close to them due to being concerned, of course, that their joy have to be joyous there, so they're gonna get it on the drill. So as we go like that, to drink some water there, always meditating everything that's going on, and the sun, a little bit of the Pope, my King, the Sun. We gotta get it on the XYZ. So that's why I need to get a LOV. You know, people are loving and having a good time and jogging, and I need to get that hydration, and I need to give myself some of that good hydration with it. So super important to hydrate in times like this. And we're gonna go drill it inside. We're gonna come back, and I don't know how long it's gonna be because I might go to a back walk. Maybe I won't go today, but maybe I will go. If not, we're gonna get that DDD, and we're gonna get it for that XYZ, and that's why we're gonna go drill it inside. And we're gonna drop these because I saved the squirrel, saved the chipmunk, saved the squirrel, saved the chipmunk maybe. So the groundhog with this. So this is where it gotta be put. You know, don't leave this in the park, in the forest. This has to go there, you know. So that's where you put it. You put it there, don't leave it in the park. See, this could kill a rabbit, a squirrel. It goes in, you gotta put it in here because we try to preserve. So here we got we got the recycling here, and the bottle also. It goes there, and then you wash your hands, disinfect your hands, whatever the case may be, and gotta go hydrate. So once again, if you come here, please do not pollute, just put it there. Just if it goes in the recycling, put it in the recycling. If it goes in the garbage, put it in the garbage, you know, because we're trying to preserve here, a place of preservation, and gotta get that preservation. As you can see here, it's a place where we plant, of course, a lot of trees, and we gotta go get an XYZ, so we gotta give it a little bit of XYZ an exercise, and we're gonna get it on for the dough. And it's not all about the money, but nonetheless, do not pollute. Just see you got garbage here, so I gotta see those little flowers here, so that's all we gotta do, man. And that's all we gotta do. I'm painting some of these benches, paint some of these benches right here. Gonna get it to paint, and they're already painted on white, and we gotta paint some of these white, paint some of them blue, or purple, or whatever the case may be. Giving me the tools, I'm willing to paint them all on the XYZ, and I'm just gonna wait before I go, of course, there to hydrate, because of course there's people there, so I just wanna be, let them be for a bit, and they're gonna clear out and hydrate themselves. So we're just gonna do a little circumvention like that, and gonna be grateful, thankful that my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, and got food and coffee, and we can always drink afterwards. But I just don't want to interject there because there's lots of children, so I'm gonna give them priority, family with the children, for them out of courtesy, to be courteous. But I want to go hydrate a little bit because I've been a lot of bit hydration, so I'm just gonna be patient with it. Although I'm thirsty, I'm not gonna get moody. I'm gonna try not to get moody over it because prioritize children's joy, children's health first, And I love, I write children's books, so I always get inspired now to write a children's books, in consequence, of course, to the consequence that is that the public works, because it's thanks to the public workers who build those aqueducts. So when children go in the park, and please, again, these are ideas that I'm spitting here. I'm an artist, financially struggling at the moment. So keep that in mind if you stumble over this video. And I'm here grateful, thankful, my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, got food and coffee, and Gotta go towards the sun, towards the sun, towards the sun. We gotta go get to that hydration, you know. So we gotta get it for that H, YZ, and I gotta go towards that super hydration. Gotta go a little bit towards the sun and discuss my DRT. So we're gonna hydrate and be mindful, thankful that thanks to the public workers of the past. Public works, we build the aqueducts, all the aqueducts that connect Montreal and all the aqueducts across North America. Go public works, go. Thank you for the work in the 20th century so that yours truly and those kids and everybody who comes here has, of course, this clean, drinkable water so that yours truly can drink. So I gotta be mindful that civilization is a privilege with nature and harmony, blah, 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 blah. Salute, rock and roll for you and hydrate. Now we got a little bit of a good hydration, man. So.
The guy said something underground.
We got a good hydration, so you know how we do. And gotta get it on that overtime, and we gotta go in and drill. And put on the backpack has about 44 max, 45 max, 45 pounds max. Anywhere between 25 and 45, I would say. Anywhere between that, so that's how we gotta go drill it with it, you know. So gotta get it go drill. So always meditating on the XYZ, and we gotta go drill it, and drill it in for the love, you know, and drill it in for those butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors on the steps. Always meditating now. What's happening across North America, across the collective North American civilization, what I call North America, of course. Everything that's going on now with the sun shining, and gotta get it on the sun, you know. So always grateful, and gotta get it on the XYZ, and we gotta get it for that love, and people hugging, and gotta get it for those huggers. And you can come see here, the best place, Belvedere, and down the mountain like that. Gotta go like that, you know. So gotta go drill it in, and gotta go drill it up like that to the sides. You can go all the way from the other side. You can go all the way to the other side and come back by like a circle if you want. You know, the mountain is a circle, you know. So that's how we gotta do, of course, on the XYZ, and that's how we gotta be present and mindful of. So I always love coming here, and it's a pleasure. Just really love this place. It's like my second home. So just don't pollute, you know. Just put the trash in the trash and put the recycling in the recycling, because you leave stuff, it's gonna affect the flora, the fauna. And if you find stuff like this, you know, this has to be returned, to the lost and found, like stuff like this. Always bring it to the lost and found. So we're gonna drop that. We're gonna drop that to the lost and found, and we're gonna drop it to the lost and found, man. That's what we're gonna do with this little munchkin. So we're gonna get it on the XYZ, and we're gonna go inside and make sure we got on the XYZ, and make sure we celebrate the day, you know. So carpe diem it every day. We gotta carpe diem it every day, man. So I live for that carpe diem, you know, as we go on the XYZ, you know. That's what we gotta do. We gotta sense it on the X, and children out there playing, children out there on the play field, man. So They gotta go on the XYZ, on the XYZ, on the XYZ, you know. So that's what they be doing on the love, on the love, on the love. So they gotta keep on minding the business. Sometimes we gotta mind each other's business, mind each other's business, mind each other's business, and we gotta get it on the XYZ. So here crossing a little marsh, always meditating on what's happening now on the LOV and on the LOV and on the LOV for that. Those who make that good loving today, encourage that with consent. That's what I love doing, found a love with me. Come LOV rainbow, come LOV rainbow, come LOV rainbow, come LOV rainbow. And that's what we're gonna do for that LOV rainbow, and we're gonna do for that love, you know. So that's what it is for the XYZ, for the XYZ. And we gotta give it for the lovers and the butchers and the bakers, man. Always thinking about the what's happening across the boulangerie, you know, those bakers, those nurses, and those doctors, and the truckers with it, and all the collective North American civilization. We got that, get that coast to coast, 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 you know. So that's what we gotta do. You gotta go to XYZ, and sometimes you just gotta meditate, you know. As an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, philosophy as a philosopher. It's not perfect, far from it. Get that rock and roll, and I don't make pretenses, you know, pretend that I don't have lusts and XYZ and issues and stuff like that, you know, because I am no longer depressed. It's been more than 7 years, and I don't do drugs. I just have Asperger's, you know. Once in the blue moon, very rarely, some legal cannabis, and I can smoke with Elon Musk. Let's go double trouble. We're gonna build some more satellites together, interconnected supercomputers. My Scorpio brother Bill Gates, and the DRT. We gotta get that DRT in it. The only solution now is the DRT, the debt fusion theory, which I'm not gonna not discuss, because I always discuss it and I always like discussing it. So we gotta discuss that debt fusion theory as it is now, trying to poke on my right eye. Gonna get eaten. That bug is gonna get eaten. The bug is gonna get eaten to essences and rah. And we're gonna get that drill. See here, you can work out, train, exercise. And as a matter of fact, we're gonna discuss the DRT a little bit on the here. Always coming to new places, you know, which is kind of cool. So we can put the camera there and do a little bit of drill and discuss the DRT, you know, as we go on the DRT. And it's always gonna get a little bit of XYZ, and that's why we gotta go drill it on the XYZ. It's always good to get it and to work out, train, exercise. And right here in nature, I feel so good, so refreshed to take those deep breathing exercises in, and we take those deep breaths, and something trying to poke my left eye again. So it's always the left or the right. So I take some pictures of the rocks, and we're going to take some pictures of XYZ, and we're going to take some of discussion of that DRT, the debt fusion theory is the only solution, brothers and sisters, from what is happening now. The only solution is the DRT, the debt fusion theory, the DRT is the only solution. There is no other solution but the DRT, the debt fusion theory for the creation of the U. It is the only solution. Where we are now financially, there's no other solution. There's no other solution but the implementation of the DRT, which I'm going to discuss. But first and foremost, I want to say my gratitude once again and encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. Working out, train, exercising has-been will be my medicine and therapy of choice. And here I can do a little bit of squats, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm going to get on that XYZ. And we can see what we can work with right here. And we can do a little bit of, let's see if we can push off a little bit. See, you can explore and work out. Just be careful, some places are not designed for working out, but here you can see, here you can work out here, and you can extend, put your legs up, and then do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But we're gonna come back here, but now we're just gonna keep on moving, you know me, on the move. Sometimes I get flashes of reincarnations when I'm here. I served twice in the United States Armed Forces. I served about 45 months in the Vietnam War. I served 45 months in the Vietnam War, so 45 months in the Vietnam War. So when I cross some of these paths, I have flashes from the sun and the moon, whether at night or during the day or morning, whatever time. I get flashes of reincarnations. Right now we gotta channel that aggression, you know. We gotta get that coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, you know. Gotta build more satellites, interception, public-private partnership, PPP, North American Collective Civilizational Complex, the North American Civilizational Complex, the North American Civilizational Complex, go for that. Dragon Zero NATO NORAD initiative. That Dragon Zero NORAD NATO initiative, that Dragon Zero NORAD NATO initiative, you know. That's all I'm about. The initiative of the Dragon. Support the DRT. What is the DRT? The debt refusion theory is my theory, and my brothers and sisters, I say this clearly and purely and with some mellow V, with excitement, because I was cursed with Asperger's, and as a matter of fact, I just discussed with my fellow senior citizen, you know, that I lost a lot of friends, but I'm a joyous Aspie. I'm not no longer depressed. It's been a long time. I'm just financially stressed. I'm just financially stressed. So that's it. That's all on the rock and roll. We gotta get for that DRT, and we gotta get for that Cosmos, and we gotta get it for that LOV for those who are making that good loving now, and always encourage citizens to work out. And we're gonna do a little bit of squats here because I love to come here, see that a little bit of cloud, and we're just gonna do a little bit of balancing like this and slide while I discuss the DRT. What is the DRT? The DRT stands for debt, D for debt refusion theory. So the debt refusion theory is my theory. Keep in mind that the DRT contains what's called in finance, monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is exactly what the Europeans did. The Europeans did. So the Germans got rid of the Deutschmark, the Italians got rid of the lira, and of course the French got rid of the franc. So that's what they did, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same, but do that. Take a light cake alike with it. So the DRT stands for debt refusion theory. The DRT stands for debt refusion theory. So we're gonna create and take, of course, all the debt, the public and the private debt, my 10,500. But first, before I go into a discussion, I want to say, of course, the motive and how come I say, of course, that it is sun, my public king, shining on us. On all the world now, the sun rises and sun sets. So it's best to discuss now the sun rises and sun sets. So this is the motive why I do say that it is the only solution. Look at that. So this is what I'm going to show you. It is, of course, the official numbers from the debt servicing. That is how much we pay interest. Look at that. 2020, 2021, we paid 20.3 billion, and look at that. We pay now, going to pay 46.5 billion. So that is, of course, the amount of interest that we're going to pay, the amount of interest, just the debt servicing that we're going to pay. And it is 20.3 billion. It was in 2020, 2021, due to COVID protocols and programs. It more than doubled. 20.3 would have been double 40.6. It's 46.5 just servicing the interest. My brothers and sisters, my DRT, debt refusion theory, which includes monetary integration, is the only solution. There's no other way. This is taken 22nd of November, the 22nd of November, and this is, of course, the only solution now for the solution of North American complex, of the North American collective civilization for North America, for Canada first, Quebec first. Look at that. This is taken during the 22nd of November. So last year I taken this. This is from the CBC, Official Bank of Canada, Official Bank of Canada numbers. So these are official numbers, my brothers and sisters. There's no other way but the implementation of the DRT, the debt refusion theory. 20.3 billion, 46.5, 20.3 billion, a billion is 1,000 million. Look at that, 46.5 billion. It more than doubled. Two, of course, it more than doubled to 46.5 to from 20.3 it doubled to 46.5, it doubled to 46.5. That is the only solution. There is no other solution, my brothers and sisters across North America. So now I'm gonna discuss what is the DRT, the debt refusion theory, standing for D, debt or refusion theory. The DRT, of course, containing what's called monetary integration. So keep in mind, my theory contains what the Europeans did, which is called monetary integration. So what is it? I'm going to now discuss this, of course, as I move along, go all the way to the top, to the top, to the top, and back to the top, to the top, to the top, and the back, to the top, and the back, to the top, and the back. So the DRT theory stands for debt refusion theory, and of course it is the only solution. And I love the smell here, just love for the smell here. So we gotta get that DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the XYZ. We're gonna get the smell here. See? Gonna get it for that smell. So here is it really smells. See, you get that smell here. It really smells. If you come close to here, just the smell of it is so nice. You gotta get deep in the lungs, as you get that wood, you get that good wood. And see, this is what smells. It smells refreshing, like almost like perfume. It's not perfume, of course, but of course it does smell like perfume. We gotta get it that perfume, and we gotta get it for the X, and it smells good to me. But here is the reason why. You see it's cracked. It's cracked, That's why probably a thunder hit it, so that's because the cause of the smell, but I just love it. So it's a refreshing way for me to discuss the DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE. For the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, for the creation of the UE, of the universal exchange. That is what it is. So now we're gonna keep on moving. I just want to, of course, smell a little bit more before I go, because it's super refreshing, and of course I always like to smell a lot of this beautiful place here. So we're gonna probably come back. Anyways, if we come back or not, we're way hydrated. So now we're gonna go with that. LOV, encourage all to work out, train, exercise. The DRT, debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE. The DRT theory for the creation of the UE. We're going to take all the private and the public debt. My 10,500, your 10,500. So mine, yours, ours, all the debt. My 10,500, your 10,500, your 10,000, my 10,000, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're going to take it all. My 10,500, your 10,500. So my 10,500, your 10,500, mine, yours, ours, coast to coast. All that number is going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. So all the debt, the public and the private debt, is going to be the initial money supply, right? But keep in mind that we're going to take my 10,500 debt, my 10,500, my 10,500, mine, yours, plus, add it all up, coast to coast, ocean to ocean. So mine as an individual citizen is $10,500, right? So as I walk on these here, mine is $10,500, yours is whatever X amount. We're going to take all the debt, public-private debt, since the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global finance. We're going to add it all up together, right? So we're going to add it all up together. My debt, your debt, our debt. We're going to do the conversion to US dollars. We're going to convert it to US dollar. We're going to add it with the public and the private debt of the USA. So we're going to add it with the public. Beautiful flowers, beautiful flowers, beautiful flowers. We're going to add it with the public debt. And there's those hawks. That's an omen. Two, flying by two. It takes two to tango, so it takes the public and the private. So we're going to take all the debt, the public and the private, my private debt, your private debt, our private debt. We're going to add it all up. So added my 10,500, yours, ours, coast to coast, all citizens. And of course, we're going to do the conversion.